What's up, guys? I'm back. Kind of, not really. I'm not the same. I'm not going to be vlogging my journey to become an actor anymore. I'm going to, self-improve because quarantine, and why not? But I'm here to better myself, and in the process, try to help you guys better yourselves. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. You catching what I'm laying down. You picking up what I'm putting down. Just got weird. Again, during this quarantine, you probably have tried to build new habits, right? I mean, a lot of people are trying to work out during quarantine. Workout at home is not the same as working out in the gym. Everyone knows this. You try to eat healthier at home because you can't really eat out anymore. Although eating out's not that much healthy. But you try to build habits. And if you try to build habits, I think there's a chance you might know this YouTuber called Thomas Frank. And that's why we're here today. Today, I'm gonna teach you Frank method. Let's go. So there are multiple steps to this. I don't know how many there are gonna be yet, but I'm gonna start with number 1, start small. Thomas Frank in one of his videos stated that if you start small, you can then grow the habits, stack them on top of each other, and they become stronger habits, bigger habits, better habits. He references his book, Atomic Habits, a lot, written by author James Clear. Great book, you should read it. I read it, it was fantastic. I've actually read it multiple times now. James Clear mentions how you can start a habit small, start by using the 2-minute rule. That's what he calls it. So what that means is when you're starting a habit, you should start off small. Start off doing something that would last 2 minutes. For example, if you're trying to build an exercise habit, work out for 2 minutes. If you're trying to walk more, walk for 2 minutes. If you're trying to read a book, read a 2-minute book. Or he gives other examples. Obviously, I didn't write it, so I don't. This is awkward. Okay, so if you're trying to read a book, read like 2 pages. If you're trying to work out, run for 2 minutes. If you're trying to be cleaner, clean one piece of your room first. Start small. Part number 2 is allow yourself to mess up. So let's say you fail while, let's say you're on the keto diet and you miss one day. You missed 1 day of that keto diet. Once you miss that 1 day, people usually chop themselves down. They don't want to get back up. They're stuck in this rut forever of how they can't recover from this terrible loss that just happened. It's ridiculous. But Thomas Frank says that you should allow yourself to create garbage. If you create more of lower quality things, slowly they will start stacking on each other and create less higher quality things. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but if you do more of less quality, eventually it will stack up to less quantity, better quality. Tip number 3 is do work where you're not supposed to do work. He has this little tiny notebook that he uses for writing down his distractions while he's reading a book. He says he sits down in the morning. The first thing he does in the morning, part of his morning routine, is to sit down and read a book. When he reads this book, he has a little tiny notebook. He writes down everything that comes to his mind while he's reading. He states that some of his videos are completely outlined in that tiny little notebook right there. And that's, I guess, a tip for us, the viewers, or me to you guys. You know what I'm trying to say. Allow work to be done where it's not supposed to be done. If you're on the subway, you're listening to some inspiring music, some lo-fi beats, lo-fi. You have this random idea, like this insane idea. It's like absolutely crazy. You're not just gonna sit there and ignore that it happened. Like it's $1 million idea. You can't just let it slide like that. Like that's not how it works. Thomas Frank says, when you do work where work isn't supposed to be done, that's where your best work is done. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but there we go. Tip number 4, the way you set up your environment is crucial in the formation of the habits you want to build. Thomas Frank. What that means is build your environment to suit your habits. Let's say you want to start running more. What you would do is you would take shoes, put them right where you come inside when you finish working, or like since we're at home right now, let's say you have right outside of your office, you have running shoes. If you have the running shoes there, you'll be inclined to run because you see them there. They're already there. So why not? That's my whole philosophy here. Why not? Number 5. Okay, this one isn't really for building habits. It's more for destroying bad habits. What Thomas Frank is saying is increase the resistance to do your bad habits. For example, if you want to stop smoking, for example, you would make it harder for you to get that cigarette. You would either not buy it, or you would, I don't smoke, so I don't know. Well, if you eat a lot and you want to stop eating, you would rid yourself of junk food, not buy junk food, and go to places where they don't really sell junk food. That way, you'll be less inclined to buy the junk food if it's not there. What gets measured gets managed. Peter Drucker, Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank mentions he has this friend named Martin. He has this system called the Martin system, where he tracked his habits in 2-week cycles. And I'll leave a link down to all these resources in this videos. I'll leave a link to his channel down below, because you should not take this from me. If you want to learn more in depth of each of these topics, go to his channel, because obviously he's much more elaborated than me. I don't really know much about this. I'm just starting out, but he's done his research. He's a really cool guy. You should check out his channel. But he has a video on a Martin system. It's a way to track your habits. So he uses the Martin system, or he calls it the Martin system. And the way this works is that he cycles 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, and tracks his habits for 2 weeks. And he does this on pen and paper. He doesn't do it on a computer. He says on the right-hand side, write failures or failure notes, and write like a summary of the week or of the 2 weeks, the session, the cycle. And he would have 1 through 15, and for every habit. He would put a plus when he did the habit, a minus when he didn't do it out of laziness, and a circle when he didn't do it, but it was neutral, as in it wasn't his fault he didn't do it, like he couldn't do it because of the environment. And he would also have the failure notes and the cycle reviews on the left-hand side, where it would say everything that happened in that week or in that cycle. And on the failure notes, write down when you failed, what you failed, and why you failed it, so you won't fail again. Pretty easy to understand. Number 7, use if-then statements, or as James Clear puts in his book, habit stacking. So it's where you would use a habit that you already have, let's say brushing your teeth, and you would use that habit to start a new habit. Let's say you brush your teeth and you want to start a habit of weighing yourself every morning. The way Thomas Frank puts this, if I brush my teeth, then I will weigh myself. Another example, if you eat food, then I will track my food. Number 8, I'm not sure, create reminders. If you get reminded to do something, you are more likely to do it, but not as likely as if you were to prime your environment to do it. And always remember, habits make up 60% of your daily activities. That's 60% of everything you do in a day is habits. Not things you consciously do, kind of, but a lot of it is habits that you've built in the past, that you've done before. Love you guys. Make sure to tap that like button very lightly, because it's very gentle, very sensitive. And if you want, you can subscribe, of course, but I mean, I also have a personal bias. If you want, you can subscribe. If you don't, oh well. Are you still here? Can you please like the video? I would appreciate that. Or if you want, you can just subscribe. Either one is fine. You should watch more of my videos. Please. It's right there. It's not that hard. If you're on a phone, you know where it is. If you're on a computer, it's literally right there. Like, it's right there. Just, yeah, you know, it's right there. Hit. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So, Subway, you're listening to some inspiring music, some lo-fi beats, lo-fi beats. I can't think of an example. that he writes down everything that comes to less quality